This clip is brought to you by Mind Bullet. Increase focus for work or working out. Enjoy this clip. When anybody starts lifting, it depends on where they are, but most people are maybe looking for a physical transformation. And it's very difficult to take your mind out of how you look every single day. But as we know, we look the way we do at this point, but we also enjoy the fuck out of this. Despite anything, we'd be doing this every single day, despite what we look like, because of how enjoyable the gym and performance and progression is. Now, the look is a byproduct of that, but when athletes are truly able to focus on progressing somehow and they truly learn to build the habit of enjoying the gym, or not even just the gym or any sort of physical activity, the body will come. You can't rush the body. It will come. But the first thing you got to focus on is learning how to love this shit and having it become a true habit. That's the big deal.
Yeah. So do you know that clip with Jocko Willink where it's with my buddy Chris Williamson, my roommate. Shout out Chris.
What's up,
Great
Chris?
podcast.
He did a podcast with Chris, and he was talking about the difference between discipline and motivation. And he said, motivation can come and go, but discipline is ultimately what matters, because you're going to do whatever the fuck it is, no matter what, no matter how you feel. And the way that I see the weight room, I don't see myself as disciplined. And I look at Jocko, and he's talking about discipline. He's talking about all these things, and it sucks because I'm like, fuck, I'm not like that. This isn't hard for me.
Yeah,
so I'm motivated, and this is what I found out. It was like I outsource my motivation. So, Chris, what are we doing today? Are we going to the gym? That's my motivation. Chris, right there. He'll literally, we have two separate doors, and I'll be like kind of in bed still, and he'll ring my doorbell. Ding, 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 and then I'll pop up out of bed. He'll rip on me for 5 minutes straight. We get in the car, we go to the gym, and we just go as hard as fuck in the gym. That's my motivation. I'm his motivation. But we're up early. We're going to the gym.
But wait, you don't enjoy the gym?
But no, and that's the thing. I enjoy that, but some would call that disciplined. But for me, I'm just creating new forms of motivation at every turn. Mm-hmm. If I don't feel like going to the gym, how can I make it so that I feel like I want to go to the gym? Mm-hmm. And I realize I do this a lot in Olympic weightlifting too, because when you don't have a day where you can lift heavy and feel like you lifted heavy, it is really, really discouraging. So if you go in there and you kind of have this feeling of I'm going to do something hard today, that I don't have very high expectations of myself. So one of them, it's just a workout where we just did power snatch double. Just you power snatch and then you power snatch. And I'm working out with one of my training partners. His name's Dylan Cooper. He's a great weightlifter, really, really solid coach as well, and really smart guy. And I already did hypertrophy training in the morning with Chris.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to go in and go hard. I know I'm going to suck. I know I suck today, whatever. So I walk in, I put my cell phone completely away, and I just start power snatching. And the only thing I focus on is here's 50 kilos. Let me do this perfectly. Boom, I did it. And I walk back and forth. I just walk back and forth, put 70 kilos on. This is the only weight I have to hit today. 70 kilo snatch, 70 kilo snatch, walk back and forth. 90, 100, 110. Then I got 115 for a double. And I'm like, that's some of the best lifting I've ever done in my life. I can't remember the last time I did a power snatch double at 115.
So, quick question. You weren't putting any pressure on yourself to keep doing more. You were just let's see what happens.
I want to work today somehow. I don't know what that is. I'm not fucking disciplined. You know what I mean? It's there's something, and then all of a sudden I get an amazing workout in, and it's whatever. So this is actually a video that I'm currently working on right now. It's kind of trying to work in some nuance to what Jocko says, because what he says scares the shit out of me. If I'm fair, I want to think that I'm a badass and that I'm disciplined and all that shit, but I don't feel like that. And maybe for someone else, it's no, what you're talking about, Zack, that's discipline, dude.
I think what you're alluding to is this is what you love to do. This is what you like. And so therefore it doesn't feel like discipline, but you might have other things in your life. As an example, maybe you're probably in a phase where you're trying to turn things more businessy, and maybe there's aspects of that you don't really love. And then so you hire somebody, right? And you bring them on board. But I mean, You know, when it's things that you like, you either like them enough to where you do them often and it appears that you're disciplined, or you don't. And if you don't do them, it just means you're not as interested as you thought you were. Whether it's to diet for a bodybuilding show, or whether it's to power lift or weight lift or anything really.
First off, the reason I said goddamn is because you hit the nail on the head with the fucking business stuff.
Yeah, once we just go outside of like your actual like niche thing, then it gets all fucked up.
Yes. But also the idea of not enjoying it, what I like to think I do is create that joy somehow, or create a game. Or so the best diets I ever did was I would take a picture of my food and post it to my Instagram story, and I put the number 1. Okay. Then I took another picture, number 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 100 meals in a row. And that was so fun. And like, everyone's like, oh man, meal number 99. Like you know,
like ate pretty well for 100 meals in a row. Something like that. That's
it was
great.
it was so cool.
So you
and
gamify it.
I didn't really have, and I'm horrible with nutrition in that way. You can't get me to weigh shit out. You know, like the one thing I do is I will stress out about getting enough protein. I figure this is a good time.
Try that
sticky
shit
bun.
at some point.
Yeah.
But
Hey, let's get high too with some kratom, Mind Bullet. We'll do some legendary.
But that's what I'm saying is like, I will try to outsource my motivation in some way so that I do like it. I want to pull this up because
I'm also going to steal your hand from my foot.
oh, this guy? Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think of discipline as like the distance away from your goal, either with time or actually really not being able to see the potential of it coming true.
Yeah.
Can you say that again, please?
And still fucking doing it anyway. So I actually wrote it because
Well, here's the thought process I've had for a while. Like, I don't really consider things to be, hard necessarily, or maybe I think that people should reinterpret what they think is hard, because the difficulty level that you think something's going to be, by the time you get closer to it, it's going to have decreased. It's going to dissipate a lot because you already did the work to get there. And so it feels badass, and we feel like badasses sometimes doing something. And that's probably why we record a run or record a lift and like, hey man, you know,
there's the motivation too, is recording.
You're motivated, you're fired up, but it's motivation within like a bubble of something that we already love to do.
Right.
I'd imagine like this weightlifting thing didn't come out of nowhere. You probably did some other sports.
Oh yeah.
And you either found out that you were halfway decent at them and got some good feedback from it, or you found out that you sucked at it and you found weightlifting. But either way, it led you to this conclusion that this is what you like to do now, and then you start to just do it. So I think hard work and motivation a lot of times are, and even discipline, I think they're all misunderstood, and I think they're all a little almost mythological in a way. Because if you were to take, you know, somebody like Jocko Willink is so well rounded, so you're like, I don't know where I would place that guy to try to put him in fear. Probably nowhere. But if you were to take the UFC heavyweight champion right now, and you were to drop him off somewhere where there's a war going on and give him night vision and put him, you know, he's got to drop down from a fucking helicopter or whatever, they're going to be terrified.
Yeah.
If you took a Navy SEAL that's already been in war, that's already been doing those things, he would be just as scared to probably go on the morning news and talk as an anchor because they've never done that before.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like they're going to shit themselves while they're sitting there ready to talk. So a lot of it has to do with exposure and what you've been exposed to in the past. But I think it just always goes back to, what do you like to do?
Hey, I know you guys enjoyed the video, so like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord below. Talk to y'all later.